What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Brad Flauta coming at you on a Tuesday. Have you guys ever asked yourself, can I start my own business? Well, that's what we're going to answer here today. Now, I'm going to make a couple assumptions here. Number one, I'm going to assume that you've already decided that you want to start a business and that you're willing to go through the steps, go through the motions, and you're willing to pay a little money because, yes, it does cost money to start your own business. And number two, I'm going to assume that you already have an idea picked out and you know whether you want to start an LLC, a partnership, or a corporation. You don't necessarily have to have an exact idea. That's a little secret that they don't tell you. But we're going to assume that you have an idea picked out. And I've been a business owner now for a little over 2 years, and this is literally the way that I started my own business. So there's a couple things you got to do. So first and foremost, I'm going to look at this from a best practices standpoint. So a lot of people are going to tell you, you don't have to register this way or that way. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. Well, I'm going to walk you through what you really should do from a best practices standpoint to make sure you don't have any issues down the road. Like when you go try to open a bank account, when someone pays you and they write a check out to your business, how do you cash that check, etc. So each state, there's two things you got to do. First, you got to register with whatever state you're in, and then you got to register for an EIN number with the federal government. So because we're here in the state of Florida, Florida's website is www.sunbiz.com. That's www.sunbiz.com, which is where we're at right now. And then it switches the URL and it brings you to here. But this is the state of Florida's website. You can do some great things on here. You can start your own business. You can search records, which is something I like to do in my free time. I like to search businesses. You ever want to know who owns your doctor's office? Look up your doctor's office. You ever want to know who the executives are for Publix? You can look it up right on here. All of them are registered with the state of Florida. So the first thing that I like to do, and we're going to search for a name. So we're going to search to make sure no one's picked out our name. All right. And I would definitely recommend that you do that. So I've already made a couple videos trying to do this. So as you'll see, we already have saved in there Brad Florida LLC. And so we're just going to make that up. We're going to say, here's our business, Brad Florida LLC. What do? We make widgets. We make widgets. That's what we do. And if you don't know what widgets are from like your business classes, it's just a make-believe item. So we're going to search to see if anybody has the name Brad Florida LLC. And look, nobody does. These are all businesses right now. A lot of these are inactive. We got one that's active right here. That's an actual business right there. And you can click on that and you can pull up who the owner is. You can see it's active. It has its document number, etc., etc. Status is important. You want that to say active. That means it's an active business with the state of Florida. So nobody's picked our name. We're going to go back to the main page and we're going to start a business. Now, like I said, in our make-believe scenario here, we're starting an LLC. And it walks you right through. Number one, we're going to review instructions. So we're going to walk through, review the instructions. It tells you right there that you should look up the name to make sure no one else has done it already, which we already did. And it talks at the bottom about manager authorized rep. This becomes important. Your title becomes important when you talk about things like applying for your EIN, opening a bank account. Right there, it tells you right there. This stuff comes into play later on down the road. So you want to make sure that the business that you are opening, that if you are the owner, you want to make sure it says you're the owner, right? You don't want it to say that you're a non-owner. Or I should say like an executive versus an owner, something like that. So we're going to read the directions, yada, 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 yada. Tells you the pricing too, right here. So all in, you're looking at $160 if you get certified copy, certified status, which is what I did. One thing I want to point out, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that LegalZoom commercial or other third-party entities. Whenever I'm looking at a Sunbiz registration, and I've looked at thousands of these for a previous job, previous life, I always can tell if a third-party company registered the business or if the owner did it based on who's the registered agent's name and address. So LegalZoom will put themselves as the registered agent name and address. If you pay somebody else to do it, they usually put themselves as a registered agent name and address. So why pay someone else when you can do it yourself and it's cheaper? So we've read our directions. We know what we're going to do. So we're going to go back to start a business. We're going to start e-filing for an LLC. Click on file. And it tells you stop. Read this. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you read all this. Filing information. Start new filing. And it's going to ask you, this is where we get into all the information. So I always put in a filing date, put in the date. You can probably put in today's date or put in whatever date you want to as far as filing date. If someone's giving you direction to do that, go ahead and do it. Filing fees, $125 plus the $5 plus the $30 if you want certified copy, certificate of status. Then you're going to put in the name, principal place of business, put in your address, mailing address can be different than the actual place of business. Remember, this is a public website right here, so people can look up this information. So whatever address you put on there, etc., that's the address that's going to be on there. So you're going to fill all this out. You're going to fill out the company name. Make sure it matches identically too. Everything has to match identically when it comes to names and dates and stuff like that. That's really important down the road. You want to make sure everything matches. Because think about it, when somebody else looks at this, like for example, a bank, you want to make sure everything matches so that so that there's no question on dates, who the owner is, etc. So you're going to fill all this out. You're going to sign it. Keeps on going down. Now this is where we get into the titling, which I was talking about earlier, which is important. Make sure you put the right title. That's very important. So you want to do your research a little bit on that. You want to make sure you have the right title. And a lot of LLCs, a lot of businesses have multiple people. So there's multiple areas here. So you're going to fill that out. So once you fill this out, you're going to pay for everything. And then it's going to get to the point where it's going to ask you, have you filed for an EIN number? So that takes us to our next step. So once you've done everything with the state of Florida, you're probably asking yourself, well, what's an EIN number? Well, an EIN number is an employer identification number. You really need to think about it. And literally, you can like I just Googled or Yahooed, how to file for an EIN, and it's going to pop right up. It's the first thing that pops up. It's the government website. You can tell by .gov, and it tells you what an EIN number is. Breaks it all down right here for you. And basically, you need to look at it as a business is its own entity, so it has its own employer identification number, just like you have your own social security number. We all do. Well, the majority of us. So you're going to walk through this. Yes, we're going to apply online. So we're going to apply online. You're going to read through this. Apply now. Okay. Some more reading you're going to want to read. You're going to want to go ahead and read all that stuff. Hit begin application. Make sure all the stuff matches, whether it was sole prop, partnership, corporation, LLC. Our example here is an LLC. Now, remember when we talked about titles? Brings up titles again here, right here. So it says to you, are you the person responsible? And you want to make sure that you're if you're the only member, you're a one-member LLC. That's what we are right now in our example. We're a single member LLC. That's us right there. So we're going to hit continue. How many are in the LLC? 1, What state are we in? Florida. Then you're going to hit continue. And it's going to do some more reading for you. You're going to want to do some reading here. Hit continue. Why are we doing this? Because we're starting a new business. And then it's going to ask you for some names. It says right here, choose, are you the only owner? Yes, that would be us. And this is as far as we can get in our little example without actually doing something. But you're going to put your address in, details in, you're going to confirm it. And I think I had my EIN number within an hour, but I have heard it takes a couple days. So don't be surprised if it takes a couple days when you file for your EIN number. But you want to make sure you do that too from a best practices standpoint. And that's pretty much it, guys. Once you do those two things, you're now ready to rock and roll. You've officially started your own business. And like I said, if you guys want me to go any deeper into like the different types of businesses, etc., just let me know. Hope you guys like, subscribe, comment down below. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.